The case for Pierre Poilievre and his lack of security clearance. During the campaign trail for the next Prime Minister of Canada, an old question that keeps creeping up was asked once again. Why doesn't Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservative Party, have his security clearance? In Canada, security clearance is a status granted to individuals after a thorough background check that allows them to have access to classified information or restricted areas. And this is primarily for jobs that are in the national public sector. Its purpose is to prevent individuals of security concern from gaining access to sensitive government assets, locations, or information. Mark Carney, the leader of the Liberal Party, has his security clearance, as well as Jagmeet Singh, the leader of the NDP. But how come the leader of the Conservative Party, one of the two main political parties in Canada, not have his security clearance? Well, let's look into the reasons why. To clarify, there is no side that we are taking whether Pierre Poilievre should or should not get a security clearance. We are simply here to explain the facts and the political party leaders' reasoning as to why they believe their stances. It's better that you, the Canadian public, decide whether this is something that he should or should not get. Pierre Poilievre claims that his hesitance to get his security clearance is because he believes that it will prevent him from doing a good job as the official opposition leader. Notice how former NDP leader Tom Mulcair explains it.
TV News Channel. I agree completely with Pierre Poilievre on this. I believe he is completely right. You do not accept to play this mugs game where you restrain your ambit and your ability to act as leader of the official opposition, which is a constitutional role to hold the government to account. And this game where you have people in the hierarchy of the security establishment saying, oh, he really should come in, but then he's not allowed to talk about it anymore. Really? Didn't we just have a commission of inquiry headed up by Madame Justice Hogue, who put all of this stuff away and said there might have been a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but all of a sudden we're talking about whether Poilievre actually got the 68%. What, maybe it was 67%? This is madness, to try to make this an issue in a campaign that is so serious for the country, to try to go back to this stuff and to try to complain about Poilievre wanting to do his constitutional duty. He wants to do his job of holding the government to account, and no, he's not going to walk into that bear trap that consists of getting a security clearance, seeing documents that could be important, and not talking about it. By the way, when I was leader of the opposition, Vashi, a certain Stephen Harper would call me personally. His staff would give me a setup, called me once during a wedding reception and said, I've got to talk to you. And it was Harper himself saying, look, there's this and this and this that's going to roll out in the next few days. It's going to be in the news. I want you to know about it. That's what a prime minister does with his or her leader of the opposition. You talk. Nobody had to make me swear any oath. I was still the leader of the opposition, but I had no intention of going in front of a camera and talking about it. This bit about Poilievre somehow not being up to snuff. When Carney went down that road today, I think he made a big mistake. He's been on the high road all along. He's got these tyros around him who keep saying, oh, use this bit of dirt, use that bit of dirt. Really? So all of a sudden, what did he get snapped right back at him by Poilievre? Oh, let's talk about when you were in Peking, at Beijing, talking with the Chinese Communist Party, borrowing hundreds of millions of dollars for your private company. It has nothing to do with this campaign any more than the bit about supposed Indian government interference. It's the tricks that they use on each other. What the Liberals learned today is that Poilievre's very good at this game, and they better choose their subject a little bit more carefully next time because they didn't score any points.
On the other hand, notice how the two other party leaders explain how Pierre Poilievre not having his security clearance can be a problem, especially due to the fact that it seems that a lot of foreign governments want to put their hands into Canadian politics.
Right, irresponsible that the leader of the opposition, day after day, month after month, year after year, refuses to obtain his security clearance.
If you care about the country, if you care about democracy, you would get a security clearance and find out as much as possible to protect our country. But he chose not to. And the only reason he chose not to is because he wanted to put his party and his partisan interests ahead of the country. That, to me, disqualifies you as a prime minister candidate. It's not someone that we can trust to stand up to foreign interference, and he has shown that, and this new information confirms that.
Mr. Poilievre is irresponsible, not having been briefed and not having taken the necessary steps in order to be briefed. Like I said a bit sooner, the behavior of both the Liberals and the Conservatives regarding foreign intrusions is like leaving for vacations, leaving the garage door open. Anybody gets in and does whatever they want.
Obviously, if Pierre Poilievre becomes the next Prime Minister of Canada, he will be obligated to obtain his security clearance. But what do you think? Should Pierre Poilievre attempt to get his security clearance right now during the middle of the campaign, or rather wait to see if he wins and becomes the next Prime Minister? Let us know what you think in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care.